Good morning. I'm Yolo County District Attorney Jeff Reisig.
For Yolo County District Attorney Jeff Reisig, September 18, 2017 was an especially busy day. He signed a complaint against a West Sacramento man who was accused of killing his own 3 children.
The alleged weapon was a belt.
A news conference followed by an arraignment.
That's all I can tell you.
District Attorney Reisig will be the lead prosecutor on this case.
Multiple homicide involving children, and it's just something that I feel very passionate about, and I'm going to try it personally with one of my deputy DAs.
Trying major murder cases is nothing new for this seasoned prosecutor and veteran district attorney.
CHP Officer Andy Stevens and Yolo County Deputy Sheriff Jose Tony Diaz. These were 2 of the peace officer murders that I've handled in the last decade plus, and some of the most profound prosecutions I've ever handled. I knew both of these men, and I'll never forget about their service, and I'll never forget about the experience of prosecuting their killers as well.
I can't imagine doing anything else. I love being the DA, I love being a prosecutor. I love the partnerships, the collaborations with law enforcement, with the community, with Yolo County.
For District Attorney Reisig, the calling to be a leader in criminal justice came early.
When I would see a crime that had occurred, it would overtake me. I would be so engrossed in what happened and how it happened and who did it and who was affected, and then wish that I could do something to make it right, to help. And that started in college, and then when I got into law school, it just became more and more clear that this was going to be my career.
20 years as a prosecutor in Yolo County, 10 of those as district attorney.
And here I am almost 22 years later, and it's still calling me every single morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Morning.
Morning. All right, what are you working on?
We got some child exploit computers and phones that we're trying to analyze right now.
This is the Yolo County District Attorney's high-tech unit.
The high-tech unit in the district attorney's office is something that is really cutting edge for a local DA. With the advent of everything digital, phones, iPads, computers, there really isn't a criminal case now that doesn't have some type of digital forensic evidence involved. So what we did in Yolo County with our high-tech unit is we actually started a unit within the DA's office that's solely dedicated to examining those digital items for forensic evidence in all types of cases: murder, rape, robbery, property crimes, whatever it is. We have a unit right here in this office that's staffed by investigators, peace officers, who are trained in forensic analysis, who can do the work.
So this is a phone that we could not get past the password, so what we did is we removed the chip and we're able to extract the data directly from the chip. And this is a very specialized training and equipment to be able to remove these chips and keep them in operational order.
And this is huge for prosecutors to have this ability to do this on site and to gather the information that's on
that little guy right there.
This little piece of evidence right here may deliver something that'll solve the case.
And oftentimes it does.
We've literally solved cases through discoveries we've made in our forensic unit that would have never been solved without that evidence. As the DA, the high-tech unit was one of the most important initiatives of my career.
From the cold hard facts of forensic science to a much softer side of the DA's office.
Hi. Hello. This is Aloha. This is one of our working comfort dogs that helps take care of victims of crime. And as I told you, we started the program almost 10 years ago. Aloha was our second comfort dog. Our first comfort dog, Daisy, is permanently assigned to our multidisciplinary interview center, where we interview children, typically children that have been victims of sexual assault. But Aloha is here in our main office, and she comforts victims of crime that come here, that are on their way to court. As I said, Aloha is trained to go to court and sit at the feet of the victim while they testify outside the view of the jury. And she's just a fantastic, lovable dog, and you'll find a lot of our DAs down here sometime getting comforted as well.
This is the Victim Services Unit, where victims of crime meet Aloha, and the victims advocates that District Attorney Reisig calls angels, those who assist victims throughout investigations and court proceedings.
I've actually used Aloha in a case where there were 3 teenagers testifying, and she sat at each of their feet when each one of them had to come up and testify about being harassed and annoyed by a complete stranger in the community.
And I rely on the victim advocates tremendously to take care of the victims and also to allow me to stay totally focused on the mission without losing it, because these cases are really, really intense. So they are the office angels.
While there is a unit to focus on the victims, there is also a unit to focus on defendants, the Data-Driven Intervention Unit.
If this didn't come through the data intervention program, a DA charging would simply say, this is someone who is intoxicated in public. However, on our end, because we know he was arrested 57 times or had 57 calls for service, it flashes a light for us. This individual was a known gang member. He had search terms. One of the search terms was no weapons. So one of our interns came across this photo. So this is a case where we have an individual who we know is already dangerous. Our unit has done some investigation on him, and we find him with a photo with a gun. So you can see how that is going to be an issue.
This is where law enforcement officers in the DA's office meet to find the bigger picture on offenders and perhaps find the root of the problem.
Is the underlying problem drugs? If so, we'll work with probation to get them in a drug treatment program. We'll work with the mental health court to get them into that type of program. And if it's absolutely just a violent offender, well, we're going to dive in and we're going to make sure that we're building those robust prosecution cases. We're going to use the tools that we have, social media scraping, jail calls, anything we can to lessen their effect on the community and make the community safe.
Also working to keep the community safe is the District Attorney's Neighborhood Court Program.
The summary of Neighborhood Court is it is probably the boldest step forward in criminal justice reform out of a DA's office that you'll find in the state of California. And in fact, when we started the program in 2013 in the city of Davis, we had no idea that it was going to explode into what it is now, which is we have over 290 community volunteers, all been trained in restorative justice. We've handled over 1,200 criminal cases in the court. Those are cases that otherwise would have gone to criminal court, where they would have been prosecuted and we would have spent a lot of money and a lot of time, and in my opinion, not had that great a bang for the buck. We recently had an independent evaluation of neighborhood court, and we found that we had an 89% success rate. We had less than a 4% recidivism rate after 1 year for offenders. That's unheard of. And the people that are participating in it are extremely happy.
The Neighborhood Court Program involves victim input, if the victim chooses, police input, and community member input. The offender often agrees to it as a way to wipe a slate clean, meaning if she or he finishes the program, there is no record of the offense. Serious or violent offenders never have a shot at neighborhood court. They proceed straight to a court of law. Everything the Yolo County District Attorney's Office does can be found on its website, on its Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram.
Over the years, the methods by which the consumer gets their information has changed, right? It used to just be television and radio and newspaper. Well, now we all know that it's Facebook, it's Twitter, it's Instagram, it's all of these things that have developed in the last few years. So the task was simple. Let's get together a group of people that are interested and talented, and let's start informing the public about what we do, about the cases that we're prosecuting, about crime prevention tips, relevant issues, whether it's domestic violence, victim services, I mean, everything under the sun that is related to the DA and supporting our community and nonprofits and our allied agencies. Those are all relevant topics. So we have absolutely gone from 0 to 100 in the last few years. We stream live on Facebook and Twitter and other venues when we have press conferences like we will today.
Count 4A alleges that his attempt to murder his wife was done willfully, deliberately, and with premeditation.
And when something happens like this that overtakes me, I'm in.